Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of Unfiltered Dirty Air here in the 2024 season. We're excited to have Mr. Bryn Roberts with us tonight. And as always, it's Kevin Feemster, your host, and myself as the co-host and producer. So we'll get this thing started here in just a few minutes. Appreciate y'all tuning in. And we'll get this thing going here in just a moment. Welcome, everyone, to our first episode of Unfiltered Dirty Air podcast for 2024. Mr. Kevin Feemster, our host. I'll throw it over to you as I transition over, and hopefully everybody can see our ugly, ugly faces.
Yeah, hey y'all, welcome in. Unfiltered Dirty Air, first episode of 2024. And of course, you know me, Kevin Feemster. Ryan's joining us. He'll come in and talk a little bit. He's my producer right now. We do have a guest coming up here in about 4 or 5 minutes. We'll get into a few things. This season's going to be a little bit more spicy than last season. We are going to hit more subjects, probably hurt a few more feelings. But let's go over some partners here, so you understand like where we might be pulling from. Of course, ARCs, since we are on the ARCs network right now, we'll be pulling from OG, like things that guys from there, talking about stuff from there. Prestige is a partner, ABN's a partner, HTL's a partner. Yeah, there's probably more. Can't think of it. Don't have no sponsors yet, so if you want to fucking sponsor us, bring it on. But yeah, gonna be a good season of this. We're gonna do most of these on Wednesday nights. I think it's gonna work out pretty good. Anything that happens on like a Sunday night race, still be fresh in their minds and stuff like that, but may not be too over the top. But current news stuff. We had a little bit of drama in a different Discord. We're gonna talk about that tonight. We're gonna talk about rules. We're gonna talk about a rule book. We're gonna talk about a certain person that involves those rule books. Just see what the chat wants to say about it, what they want to, and everything like that. Because people always seem to have opinion on it until they actually try doing something themselves. So we'll go over all that. Ryan, you got anything you want to say before we bring our guest on?
No, I'm good. Appreciate you having me back. It's a lot of fun to do this podcast. I'm going to try and be I don't even know if there's a word that exists, but going to try and be a little more unbiased this year. This year has been pretty good so far to me. Mentally, I'm in a little bit better spot. I've talked about it on my other podcast, which we'll plug that near the end of this podcast as we kind of work together. But yeah, I kind of just want to be the in between, the mediator, as you said, and I'm going to try and not let my emotions get to me, which is tough sometimes, a little tough, but. Hey, I mean, me and you both got a fancy podcast mics now, so we're serious. Yeah, we're serious about this shit now. We got to get Feemster a little bit better camera. Yep. Hopefully that'll happen here in the next couple weeks or so, and this is really fun. I love doing my podcast that I've been doing on Friday nights and some on Mondays. It's a whole different vibe. From this podcast, so it's really cool to be a part of really two different podcasts under the ARCS umbrella. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to talk to Bryn. I mentioned it in the intro. I don't think I know me personally, I've never seen Bryn.
Yeah, me either.
I don't think anyone else has either. So if anything, y'all get to see Bryn Robertson virtual camera tonight. So that'll be fun to see.
Yep. All right. So let's like you said, Bryn's in here, so we're gonna bring him in. I know he requested to come in. I think he's got something he wants to bring up that happened at A Square on Sunday. So give him a second to get his mic up here or his camera going when I pull him up. So let's bring on Bryn.
Sounds good.
Hey, Bryn, you got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you. Hold on a sec.
You're good, man.
All right, there we go.
There he is.
All right.
The one and only Bryn Roberts.
Going
hey,
good, man.
Look, you look like somebody that would eat at Sheetz. I'm just, and that's a compliment. I don't mean that as anything but a compliment. But this man goes to Sheetz for sure.
Oh, yeah. I do go to Sheetz. I do go to Sheetz.
It all makes sense now. It's all full circle. All right, man. How you been?
Love Sheetz. I've been good. This year's been treating me good. It's been a good year so far, and I really have no complaints. Just grinding out school, and that's about it right now. So yeah.
Yeah. So we're just gonna dig right into it, right? So Sunday. Yeah, you reached out to me. You said something. I'm taking it you were pretty hot after the race on Sunday about something. and A squared for those that don't know. We on Sundays, Arcs runs A squared, next gen cars, Gen 7s, what you want to call them. 40 car field. It was not good at all. It was rough. But what happened, man?
Well, I'll just take it from the top, from the start of the race. The start of the race wasn't good. There was a lot of cautions at the start, and while I wasn't involved in every single one, it's just a little frustrating. Can't get a run in, can't race anybody. You're just pacing, right? And I sped, so I went back to the back, and then got involved in a couple wrecks. That weren't my fault, so I was a little angry about that. And then the big thing that happened was I worked my way back up to the front, and I was going to win the race. I was going to win that race, and me and Proudfoot were battling, which, that's just normal racing. A caution will come out, and it'll screw you every now and then. But next restart, I restarted like 7th, really good restart, and I got behind Proudfoot. I had 4 tires, he had 2. And I know he was confident that he could hold on, but when you start getting pressure on you, you're going to wish you had 4, right?
Yep.
So, I'm convinced I was going to win the race. And, I had a certain guy in the 25 car just drive right through me. Former teammate of mine, and I didn't appreciate it. It got me real hot, and I ended up wrecking myself under caution. So, that, never want to do that, make a mockery of yourself, make a mockery of your team and the league. But, I was so hot I wasn't even thinking rationally at the time.
Right. Hey,
it didn't make a mockery of us. We're up top in the team standings right now, so hey, we had to do what we had to do.
Oh, that's right. Bren's on your team this year, isn't he?
He absolutely is.
That's right.
Yep, got Bren and Lilac and Boss, and we are up there top of the standings for team standings so far. So you
got rid of me, and look at you now, man.
Hey, I had to do what I had to do, man.
Moving on up in the fucking world. Shit. Yeah. So I'm 25. For those I know who doesn't drive it, Daniel Michelle drives the 25 car in ARCs in A squared on Sundays. Yeah, he's still in the 25, right?
Yep.
Change his number.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
He don't have the balls to change his number.
Yeah, well, he had a run-in with Ryan a few times, so I think he should adopt the 27 car since Mulkey isn't running full-time this year. This makes more sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we can... That race in A squared on Sunday, I mean, I got trashed in the first 5 seconds of the damn race. The worst thing you can ever do, I'm not going to ever do it again, is unclick my fast repair before the race starts, under pacing. Because I was so pissed. I got in that wreck, I checked up, and I just got hit right on my right front, broke a toe link off, and I was so pissed. I was cursed and everything, pulled into the pit road, parked my damn car, 9 minutes of required repairs. And I was like, oh.
Damn.
I sat there for 10 minutes because I got a passing under yellow as well.
Of
and
course.
I only went. This is a testament to how the beginning of that race went. I sat in pits for 10 minutes at a semi-short track. Basically runs like a short track. It's a fast track. I only went 11 laps down. Being in the pits for 10 minutes.
Yeah. It was
that about sums up the beginning of that race.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I won't lie. You know how fucking hilarious it was? I'm sitting on pit road. I'm like, I got 8 minutes left. And they're like, hopefully just, maybe it'll be another caution. And I'm not even joking. Every 45 seconds, yellow. I was like, this is working out perfectly, as long as no one else is going laps down, I might get my laps back. But lo and behold, fucking Mongold kept going the lap down. I couldn't get any fucking laps back in that race.
Yeah, fucking Chick-fil-A, Dr. Pepper loving train simulator.
There was one point, late in the race, me and Proudfoot were racing, and I dived down into turn 1. I go, Mongold's just sitting backwards in the track.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Well, fuck. Between all the wrecks, and I don't know how many times Bradley spun on Sunday, but by God, I was around Mongold a lot, but I swear I saw Bradley backwards more than I seen him forward on Sunday.
Mm.
He may retire from the next gen cars after that. Yo.
Yeah, he had a rough night, but he even said it. He
Oh yeah, he admitted it. Yeah.
he had a rough night.
I almost damn plowed right into him in that one. He spun and kind of came back up the track, and I avoided him at the last second, which wouldn't have meant shit to me. I was already 11 laps down. But hey, I was 38th, 11 laps down. I finished 26th.
Hey, it shows, man. You can't give up.
Can't give up.
Especially this year with 40 people pretty much every single night. I mean, even if you go 12 laps down, you stay in it, you might finish 28th, 27th, 26th, and that's a difference of 1 point versus 12 points, and that's huge. Because
I did the math. I'm sitting 10th in points right now, I believe. Well, according to iRacing, I'm not 100% sure where I'm at. I'd have to look here, but
yeah, I'd look at Kent's points because I'm not doing points this year. Kent's doing it all.
Basically, I think I'm right around in 10th right now. I was in 3rd or 4th, something like that. 26th position, but like it would show you like fuck, that ain't it. Wait, that is it. So I'm sitting 13th. Okay, I had 12 points. I'd only would have got 1 point, which put me at 62. I'd be in 18th position right now.
Yep.
If I would have just quit.
Hey, I'm literally tied with Steven Oberstadt for the last spot in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, there you go.
We
got a long way to go, though.
Hey,
long way to go.
I finished 9th. Lilac finished 10th, right behind me. Another one of my teammates. That day was wild for me because I woke up at like 9 a.m. I had to go get a U-Haul at 11. We were moving the last part of what we had at our old house to our new house, and then we had to drop off some furniture to one of Kenzie's family members, and then we had to return the U-Haul, and then by the time I got home, literally, I walked in the door, and it was like 6:58. So I literally registered for the session with like 2 minutes before qualifying started, turned no practice laps. Qualifying, I didn't even qualify. I started 35th, I think, and finished 9th. So I'll take it. I'll take that all day long.
Heck yeah.
I was sitting in or maybe it was like right before qualifying, but I was sitting in Discord with Lilac and Boss, and I was thinking like, I don't know why Ryan's not here. I don't think he said anything that he wasn't gonna be here. So I was like, oh, that'd be a bad deal.
Yeah, I barely made it, but we made it. But fun fact,
try and not say a word.
Hey, fun.
Show up.
Well, yeah, that's Tri-Strand for you, but. Fun fact, I will be at this week at Pocono. I'll be there next week or the week after at, I think, Sonoma. But I have some kinfolk filling in for me at Texas. Mr. Cody Pinnell is going to be in that number 12 car at Texas because I'll be in Florida on vacation. So I asked Cody to fill in for me, and damn, if that's a hell of a fill-in right there. I think Cody could go out there and win that damn Texas race, and it worked out too because Cody actually sponsored that race.
Oh, no shit.
For this year. Yeah, so he's a sponsor of the Texas race, and he'll be able to go out there and run that 12 car and hopefully get me some points and maybe get the win too. That would be cool to see, but I'm excited for that.
Hell yeah, dude! I love running with Cody. Fast,
Cody's
good,
one of my
respectful.
favorite guys. One of my favorite guys to race with in ARCs. Last year when he was my teammate for that short little while, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually subbed for Bren and gave Bren the points lead for a little bit. Yeah.
I'm probably be a little lower in the points if Cody didn't run for me, because I didn't have a good run at Las Vegas, and clearly I can't keep myself from getting penalties now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Penalties. Part
Look,
of it, man.
we talked about it. We went to the hall. Russ, shut up. My dog's. And I know this mic picks up everything because I went to the next room and pissed, and everybody could hear it. So, but we talked in the hauler after this whole thing happened, and I I told them, I was like, they were like, well, what was Bren thinking? And I was like, Bren wanted to wreck his ass. I was like, and I didn't tell him no, because I've been there before, and I'm not going to tell my drivers to not, like, if they're pissed off, go do what you got to do, you know. Yep. Just understand you're going to get penalized. The team's going to get penalized. But if you have to go tell that driver, hey, I don't like how you just drove me, or I don't like what you just did, go do what you got to do. And that's exactly, what was said in our chat. I mean, he was hot, and I have been there. Trust me. On a weekly basis, usually I get so hot that I have to, be careful with what I say. But, I told him, do what you got to do. Well, just understand there's going to be a penalty coming. And he said, I don't care. And that's, I knew that he had to do what he had to do.
I've never been more mad in an A squared race than in that moment. I was so pissed off. I wasn't even thinking about what I was doing. Like, I was sitting in the pits, and I was thinking, all right, how am I gonna go wreck this guy? There's only 2 laps to go in the race, and luckily he ended up wrecking himself. So, it is what it is, right?
Hey, I did the same thing to Seth. I just didn't wreck myself or him 2 weeks ago. So.
Hey, sometimes you just got to tell the driver, you got to show them that, you're upset. I mean, I'll never forget one time Mr. Deplorable Me, Terry Gabbard. I know he's not around anymore, but he wrecked me one time at Dover, and I came back with a wrecked race car under caution, and I wrecked the shit out of him. And I got a penalty, and I don't regret it one bit. I mean, sometimes that 10-point penalty in the heat of the moment doesn't seem all that bad. When you want to tell somebody, hey, I don't like how you drove me, and you can't do it in that moment over comms, or you're not in a chat, you go up there and you let them know, hey, and sometimes it sucks, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and I got a feeling, even with the whole penalty, how it's structured, I got a feeling that shit keeps up the next couple weeks. It's just going to start policing itself a lot. I've seen some, and not saying anyone's a bad driver or anything like that, but there's some dumbasses that's been on the track the last few weeks, with how they're racing each other, and the sad part of it is it's newer guys, which we want to recruit guys to come in. We want new guys running with us. It's not that we don't want new guys, but don't come in to a very good series as A squared is. It's the top echelon, right? And race like a jackass. Now, a couple of them already left, okay? And I've been vocal about it even on the podcast with Ryan. Connor Knowlton, fast dude, shitty race etiquette. Doesn't race with respect in the Clash or the couple races that he was in. And I was hoping to see him progress and get better around these guys, that we've raced with for many years. I watched a lot of guys not give room at Phoenix. A lot of guys try full sending it on that high side and completely running out of talent and losing it. I watched Seth get completely ran over by just someone not not paying attention to the person in front of you. At a 1 cone, at the braking point, in turn 3, just completely ran him over, put him in the wall. So some of y'all got to clean it up. I understand people get into each other, you get loose, you get hit, you get a little too close than what you meant to get to them. Shit happens. But, man, there's just some dumb racing on Sunday.
A funny story is we were in the hauler, and everybody asked, like, hey, we should have a hauler radioactive. Well, tune into this podcast, because I'll fill y'all in on a little bit of the hauler action. But funny story about that. We were in the hauler, and Seth was in there, and the 72 was in there, which is a brand new guy, Noah Blackwell, which he's super fast. And again, anybody that asks me, I love racing fast people because it makes me faster. I mean, that's how I get better. That's how I learn. But we were in there talking a little bit about that altercation where the 72, kind of drove through Seth. And his reaction was, well, I've braked at the 3 cone mark all race. And my rebuttal to him was, I don't give a shit if you've braked at the 3 cones for the past 500 laps. It's a race. You don't do the same thing every single lap. You can't. So if there's a guy in front of you and your rebuttal is, well, I've braked at the 3 cone for the past 50 laps, I don't give a shit, because you have a car in front of you. So maybe don't brake at the 3 cone mark. Maybe back it off, a little bit before the 3 cone mark, and then maybe you don't drive through the guy in front of you. That was kind of what went down in the hauler. And I was very adamant, and, he kind of cut me off, and then, I kind of was like, well, look, don't cut me off. I wasn't done talking. I mean, y'all all know that when I get on a tangent, it's, you don't interrupt me.
Just listen.
Yeah, that didn't go well, but regardless, I mean, if you have a car in front of you, you have to adjust to that. I mean, and they have a car in front of them too, so you can't just say, well, this is where I braked all race. Good luck everybody else. I mean, that's bullshit. It's
complete bullshit. You got to be, aware of your surroundings. I don't care if you broke at the same damn spot for 90% of the race. And bullshit, you didn't. Who's around you and what lane you're in dictates where you're braking at. How your tires are dictates how you're braking. How the track state is how you. It changes constantly throughout a race. This ain't heat. It doesn't stay exactly the fucking same the entire race. They don't sit there and tell me that you broke at the same exact point every single turn, because you didn't. At some point in time, someone was in front of you, someone was behind you, someone was beside you. It changes constantly. Now, when you're out by yourself, maybe, you might be breaking at the same exact point, but that's not racing. And what happened on Sunday in that particular point, that wasn't racing either. That was just complete dumbass is what that was. And I'll call it as I see it. And, and like I got in a little tussle with Seth, but here's the thing. I can get a tussle with Seth like I did 2 weeks ago. I door his ass after the race. Sends me a message out, very respectful. Me and him have a very good relationship. Met outside of here. Love Seth. Good dude. Water under the bridge. We're good. We're cool. Okay, so I'm not just saying this because I like Seth or anything like that. If I will get into Seth's ass if he does something wrong, and if I see someone else do something wrong, I will get into their ass as well. Okay, so what happened on Sunday was just stupid in that particular instance. There was a few other, I didn't go and look through it all. Ryan and Kent and the other admin, for some god awful reason, want to stay in the hauler for 3 hours and look at everything, but
I didn't want to.
But yeah, go ahead, man.
I'll say I'm a little more just in terms of racing new people. You're a little unsure about how they're gonna race. And I even told Ryan at one point, I was like, I forget who was around me, but I know Tom Sears was one of them, and I think Seth was around me. And I said in our team Discord, I was like, I feel pretty good. I'm around a lot of safe guys, but I've got Noah behind me. I don't know how he races. And but he raced me fine. And I'm going to be a little more lenient if a new guy uses me up because I've been in that situation before where you're new and you don't really know what the etiquette is in A squared. Some leagues are just very disrespectful in how people race each other. You use somebody up, it's fine. You just move on to next week and that's it. A squared, it feels like it's a very respectful league. Like, respect goes a long way in how people will race you.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson that I had to learn when I joined A squared because I used everybody up that first year that I was in here. And going into last year and this year, respect's a big thing to earn respect of everybody. So I think that's just a lesson that new people have to learn, is that sometimes it's not as fast as you go. It's how you race people.
Yeah. And you talk about that, like you came in and you may have rubbed people the wrong way, which dictated where you got drafted last year, correct? Right?
Yeah, I mean
we talked about that, in that moment,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely made a lot of people mad first year I was here because, first of all, I joined like halfway through the year, so I wasn't going to be able to be in the playoffs. And then, I'm racing playoff guys like it's my last ever race. I'm never going to race again. I used up. I mean, I intentionally wrecked Briley at Martinsville.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I did that. I just did it. And I used up Toby. Like, Toby's such a good guy. Like, so fun to race with. And like, if I was racing Toby today in that same exact spot, I would not use him up.
Hey, careful.
But just in that situation,
you keep talking like that, you're gonna get Toby hard. So,
oh,
You might
don't want to do that.
might get the whole state of Kentucky hard. I ain't gonna lie to you, but
yeah.
no, I mean that goes back to just I mean you and Jacob Blankenship in the first season. I mean, y'all were hated, honestly. Like y'all were hated, the both of y'all. And now, unfortunately, Jacob Blankenship really hasn't been able to race just because of his schedule, which sucks. But, I liked racing with him. I loved racing with you. But it's just that, like, the more you race with people and the more that you have to, every single week deal with them and go to the hauler with them, you do earn that respect. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you can't race 36. Luckily this year is not as long as last year was, but you can't race 36 races with 30-something other people and not either gain respect or lose respect for those people that you're racing with every single week. And, this year we have a lot of the core guys that have been around. I mean, hell, probably 30% of them, still raced A squared when it was on Xbox. But the other 70%, they're new. They have to learn, that this shit is not just about winning a race. It's about respect. It's about gaining respect. And like, you race around me, I guarantee you anybody in A squared that races around me, they have respect for me because that's the way I race. I'm not going to run you like an asshole. That's never my intention. I would rather finish 25th versus 10th and gain respect of a couple drivers because that's just who I am. And unfortunately, we have a select few that don't give a shit. And that's not okay. And we'll get it fixed. We'll get it straightened out. But that's just how it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, that
Just
shit
real
will weed
quick.
itself out. Go ahead, man.
Back to 2022, you said me and Jacob were hated. We knew we were hated, and that just this is the wrong idea of how to go about this. So if anybody's listening, do not do this. But we were hated, so we were like, well, we're hated. What can we do? let's just go out and fuck a couple more people over.
Hey,
And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's just a lesson you learn, right?
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, I would have never thought about drafting you, honestly. I mean, I'll be 100% honest with you. That's why last year, honestly, I never even thought about it. But as I spend more time with drivers and as I see, them progress and change, I saw that with you, and I saw that with Jacob too, but unfortunately he wasn't able to race, and that's why I went out there in first round and was like, yeah, I'm going to get Brandon Roberts because I've seen him progress. I've seen him, mature. I mean, we've all, I think, matured a little bit on iRacing throughout the years, but, it's just cool. It's cool to me to see a person, 2 years ago, you're hated, nobody likes you, and trust me, I know how that feels because nobody likes me ever because anything that goes wrong, any fucking thing that happens, whether it's one little minuscule thing or a major thing, it's my fault, So I've been there, I understand, and I was just glad to have you on my team for this year, and obviously paying off. Points don't lie. Points don't lie, baby. Points don't lie.
It is working out. Oh.
If I can keep myself out of trouble, it'll work out.
Yeah, he might get a 1,000-point penalty. That's what I put in our team chat. I was like, as long as Brennan doesn't get a 1,000-point penalty next week, we might be all right.
Hey, it happens. It happens.
All right, I've been asked to move the mic away a little bit.
Are you loud?
Apparently, is that better, Kent? Rick James asked, "Who the hell is Brennan Roberts?" Rick James, who the hell are you?
Who the fuck is this Rick James guy?
I haven't talked to Rick that much. I think I've talked to Rick like once, and unfortunately I haven't been able to race TNT. I haven't been able to make it to a tryout, but I'd love to race TNT sometime if I can never make it to a tryout. So I enjoy Rick's broadcast though. I do tune in every now and then.
Yeah, he does a great broadcast. I was actually a part of one of the Mazda Monday broadcasts because I got completely destroyed. Toby asked me to grab it by the shaft. Hold on. Here you go.
Spit on it.
Yep. All right. There. I moved it away from my mouth, so hopefully it's not as loud. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah.
God damn.
Sorry. These things get out of hand pretty quick, so. Yeah, Mazda Mondays. I was able to broadcast with them. My car was absolutely destroyed because nobody knows how to run the fucking Mazda Mondays without wrecking everybody. So I jumped in the booth with them. And fun fact, a lot of people know this, but I got my broadcasting career started off with Rick James because I was a sub driver for TNT when we first started on NASCAR Heat. And so there were some weeks on Thursdays where I wasn't in a car because nobody needed a sub. And Rick James was like, well, why don't you just join me in the booth? And I was like, okay, but I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'll try. So I joined him, and I'll never forget it, he would send me Discord messages as we were broadcasting. Hey, man, don't do this, or don't say You're saying too much. And I'm bad about that. Like, if I don't know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be like, the 21's passing, the 18,
It's me.
But so he was a huge help for me to kind of start my broadcasting career. So that's funny that he's in there talking shit about.
What the fuck question did Toby ask me? What are you talking about, Rick James?
Well, I don't know. I think Rick might be high.
He might be high.
Because Toby asked me to grab it by the shaft, and I already did that. But I can grab it again. But
I can. What do you want me to do? Anyway. So Bren, We talked about the races and stuff like that. We haven't really talked about you. Where are you from, man?
I am from Western Maryland, just outside
Oh.
of Hagerstown. It's a larger city in Maryland. The podcast says I'm from Harrisburg, came from, but no, I'm from Maryland. They got the best flag in the U.S. I'm going to school. I'm a little away from home, but I'm still in Maryland. So,
Cool. You lived there your whole life?
yep, lived in Maryland my whole life. Moved around a little bit in Maryland, but yep, Maryland the whole time.
Look, man, now you're getting into my podcast, and I'm about to have to fucking say something. Well, we got Bryn scheduled here in the next couple weeks on Behind the
Didn't
Drivers.
know that. All right. Well,
Yeah,
fuck.
so
You should have just cut me off. I was
quit asking him fucking questions.
Just start asking all the normal questions that Ryan asked. How'd you get in ours?
No,
Who do you
no,
like the most?
no,
and who do you hate the most
no,
in arcs?
nope. We ain't answer.
What would
I'll,
you change?
I'll end
We'll
this.
hijack Behind the Driver.
I'll end this stream right now.
He is the producer. He can't do that. He
I
can
can't.
also probably mute me and shut me up as
Yeah.
well.
I can
But-
mute the whole stream. I'm like a shit. I don't know. Anyway, keep going. Just don't ask about that.
Got it. Well, we're probably gonna get ready to say bye to you here in a little bit, Bryn. We do appreciate you jumping on with us. That's what this whole guest section of it's gonna be. Someone reach out to me after a race, say I want to be on your fucking podcast because I'm pissed off at this guy. By God, I'll give you 30 minutes of fame to tell me exactly who you're pissed off at and why you're pissed off at him, and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. At this point I didn't actually watch what happened there. I didn't watch the broadcast back because I don't know, I was fucking 11 laps down, so didn't finish 26, so I didn't watch the broadcast. I had it on during the race, but I didn't watch it back. But Bryn, I want to thank you for coming on. It's kind of cool to hear your side of what the race was on Sunday, and chit chat with you a little bit with me and Ryan here. So thanks for coming on, man. Ryan, you got anything before we kick him out of here?
No, it's good to see you, man. I've never seen you well, I know it's not in person, but virtually. It's good to see you. So excited to have you on my podcast here in a couple weeks, and we'll learn a little bit more about you then. I don't want Feem to steal my thunder.
Yeah, I'll be excited to do that one. Dive a little more in detail about stuff, and hopefully by the time that podcast rolls around next week, I'm not banned from A Squared or anything. So hopefully I'm still racing in ARCs. Hopefully I can talk to y'all a little more. Join the voice chat in ARCs. I don't join it at all. I wish I joined it a little more. I might start now that I know a couple people a little more. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for joining us, man.
It's a family, man. We always have fun, so you're always welcome. And now that you're on my team, you're extremely welcome.
Yeah, it's good to be on that side and not on an opposing side.
There you go. We're good people over at Presidential. We're good people. We don't know how to ride a bicycle, but by God, we can race a race car. Oh, Feem muted his mic.
God damn it, dude. It's so easy to do it. This new mic, man. I barely touched that damn thing and it mutes. But all right, Bren, we're gonna kick you the hell out of here.
All right.
Hey, make sure you keep listening because it's about to get spicy up in this motherfucker. So.
Oh, I'll be listening. Is
all right,
Seth
man.
coming on? Is that Seth in the waiting room?
Seth might join us here in a little bit.
Oh,
I know
Lord. Hell yeah. Bring him
it's gonna
on.
get hot. So, but thanks for joining, Bren. We'll have it back on anytime you want. Okay.
All right.
Get mad at somebody next week, hell, I'll bring you back on. All right. But thanks for joining.
I'll come back on. I hope I'm not mad at anybody. Thanks for having me.
Have a good one, man.
See you, bud.
You too.
All right, that was Bryn Roberts. Is he driving 84? Still, okay. So
Yep.
I thought 84 car, 8 squared.
84 Ford Mustang.
Yeah. Yeah, you're late, Cody. That was Bryn. That was Bryn Roberts. Bad Bryn Roberts. Yep. Yeah, that's who that was.
Cody, nobody's ever seen him, and I don't have names by the Discord chat, so a lot of people probably didn't really understand that was Bryn. unless you listen, you can hear that it's Bryn Roberts. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was Mr. Bryn Roberts. I've never seen him before. That's what's so cool about these damn podcasts,
Yeah.
dude. Is like, I mean, Connor Knowlton. I'd never seen that motherfucker in person before or over whatever. Y'all know what I mean. In person. I'm gonna say in person. Bryn
Yeah.
Roberts. Never seen him in person. I mean, it's just crazy, man. They fire up those cameras and it's like, whoa,
Oh, who the fuck are you?
that's not what I expect. You know, it's just it never matches the voice that you think. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's so cool. I love it.
It is. Yeah, it's. I'm glad I'm back in doing it and got this unfiltered. Dirty air going back up and going. But putting a face to the name of somebody you've never seen before is pretty cool.
It is. It is cool.
So, Kent, before we get to this next segment, I know you're in the chat. Okay, I don't dislike you. I like you, Kent, and I think I think the rule book is pretty good. Okay. Do I agree with everything? No, but you're race control, and no one agrees with race control 100%. I do think what you've done a lot so far, but we're going to get into some stuff, and I may not like some. I may agree with some of the stuff that gets said, and I may disagree with some of the stuff that gets said. So buckle up, because it might get a little hot here with our next guest coming in, because I know he wants to talk about a few things. So you just want to go and bring him in? You want to bring on Seth in here?
Sure. Before we do, let's kind of just look at the chat a little bit. We got Cheeseburger Motorsports. I'm assuming that's Michael, or is that Michael Lawrence? I think that's his first name, Michael. I don't know. First time chatter. So appreciate you chatting. He said he feels like an idiot self-spinning in the middle of the pack. Had a car blink in front of me. That was probably Seth, which is our guest coming in, and that small loss of concentration. I just looped it. So, he said yes, it was Seth. So, hey, good guess. Hey, trust me, we've been dealing with Seth blinking since NASCAR Heat 4. So,
yeah, Seth blink never.
Peanut Butter said fuck the 27. I agree. I'm on the fuck the 27 bandwagon. I have been for a few years. Then we talked about Cody saying who is the guest. That was Mr. Bryn Roberts. And Kent said read it and weep. Just kidding. So
Probably along with my comments I just made. So
yeah, trust me, we'll get there. So
we'll get there.
I appreciate y'all tuning in. A lot of people viewing, so thank y'all. It makes this, like I said, without y'all, these podcasts are nothing. So thank y'all for tuning in. We're at 298 followers now on Twitch, so 2 more and we're at 300. So y'all help us out, get us to 300. We're not nearly as many followers as Rick James and ABN have, but we're trying our best. So
I want to talk about that real quick. I want to bring that up. You brought up ABN.
Yep.
Okay. People, understand something, because I know there's people asking, why are we not on ABN 1 anymore? Because fucking money rules the world, okay?
Yeah.
It's just how it works, okay? We're on ABN 2 now. It's not a big deal, okay? It's a business side of things that happen. It's just what it is. But guess what? We're on ABN 2 and we still got the best viewership, so let's just fuck it, right?
Yep, keep it going.
It ain't a big deal. Okay, we'll keep racing. They're doing put on a great broadcast. They're a good partner. Keep showing up, keep sharing it. And we'll keep moving forward with that. I know I heard a few people asking, we're griping about it, or saying it's not really griping about it, but asking about it, and why we moving to ABN 2 and all that other kind of stuff. So, just it is what it is. It's how it works out sometimes. But
I mean, I was one of the ones. I mean, we had a couple chats in our admin, A Squared admin chat. I was one of the top ones. It was like, this is bullshit.
Yep.
But money, like you said, money talks. But after their first performance at Daytona, by the way,
yep,
everybody loves Daytona. Everybody tunes into Daytona. We were at Phoenix and we had a shit ass race and still outperformed them on the main channel. So just like my message that I sent in Discord today, that's a shout out to everybody. If you can, even if you're a driver, if your internet can support it, put that thing on in the background.
Yep.
That's a viewer that counts. And we're trying our best to get in there and outperform this other series so that we can get back on the main channel. I'm not saying that that's going to happen for sure, but damn if we didn't outperform them on a secondary channel, that only has 100 subscribers and the main channel has over 1,000. Yep. That speaks a lot for all the drivers, friends, family, fans. When we go live, share that Twitch stream, share that YouTube link. Really Twitch is the most important one because that's where they pull the numbers from. So have that Twitch stream in the background if you can, if your internet's capable of doing it. And let's just keep doing it. Keep outperforming somebody that paid a lot more than we did. Just shout out to the drivers. I mean, I know we had a rough race at Phoenix, and we've had rough races at Phoenix. It's just a tough track. The dog leg is terrible. I mean, so just shout out to everybody, all the drivers, all their friends and families for tuning in and making us have a better night than a series that paid a whole lot more money than we did to broadcast. They had their top, commentators. They had their top producers on that thing Sunday night, and we kind of had, who was left over, which I love Kevin Young. I think he is an amazing broadcaster. And he was on kind of the lead call for Sunday night. He did a great job, I think. But yeah, just keep it up. We gotta, show that ARCS is a pretty damn cool community, and y'all are a part of that.
100%. All right, Seth only got a little bit of time to talk here, so let's go ahead and pull him up.
Pull him in. I'm gonna.
Excited.
Yeah, pull him in. I'm gonna go piss real quick, and I'm gonna mute my mic so y'all don't hear me pissing.
Sounds good to me. Hey, Seth, you got me, man?
Gotcha.
All righty. So, how we doing tonight?
Good. How are you, sir?
Oh, living the life, having some fun on the pod. I just got done talking to Brent Roberts a little bit. So I know you got some few things you want to bring up, so I'll let you kind of just go for it if you want to. Ryan can still hear you. He's taking a piss right now. So you can have it, man.
It's not necessarily anything major or anything like that. There's just some things that on the racetrack and off and A squared that I do and don't agree with, but that's part of ARCS. So I just want it for the betterment of it and for people to stick around and want to race. And I'm here for the people, man. I'm not here to. That's and I want to see people stick around and have fun and everybody. It's impossible and it sounds cheesy, but everybody get along. It makes it mentally so much better for everybody if we can just say fuck you, love you, talk to you tomorrow instead of knockdown, drag out days in the Discord. But we'll get past it. We always do. But it sucks it has to take some of this sometimes, but hey, it is what it is. That's such as life, right?
Yeah, 100%. Such is life. That's how it is. I mean, you and me had a little squabble, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, you build a relationship with somebody who's mad in the moment. I let you know I was mad in the moment. I didn't, I gave you a door. But good thing is that we can talk it out and move on and shit like that. Some people I won't talk it out with, but you I will.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's get into something. And this so people understand that Arcs is not my only Discord that people in Arcs are in. There are other Discords that we are a part of. I want just different groups and certain people and all that kind of stuff. We all hang out. So understand when I say this that there are people that race in Arcs, race in A squared. There's a good majority that want to go up in arms and pretty much just shit on everything that has to do with Matthew Kent. Okay. Um, and listen, like I started this off with this. Do I agree with all the rules? No. Do I understand the reason to having a rule book? Yes. Do I think some of the penalties are questionable? Yes. But I'm not in the room. I'm not in the hauler. I'm not. I'm in a virtual VR headset. That's where I'm at in the race and where things are going from it. I don't want to be the person that bitches about it. Here's any sanctioning body in racing anywhere. Race control and whoever is in charge is hated. Okay? No one likes him. Painter said it best on Behind the Driver when he was on that podcast with Ryan a couple weeks ago. No one likes race control, but you have to have a race control. Like I said, I don't agree with everything. I don't have to. That's the beauty of being in America. Okay, that's how it is. But I'd like some of your thoughts. It's unfiltered dirty air. You say what you want. You say what you don't want. It's okay. If people got feelings, they can come on. I'll bring Ken on here, and he can speak his mind too. It's just how it is with some people. It's how it goes. Okay, so floor's yours if you want to. I'm just bringing up the subject. You can talk if you want to.
I agree with what you said. It's really hard to be race control, and people don't like whoever is being race control until you develop a system and something that people abide by and get used to, and a common ground and a common courtesy. And that's why I think TNT's been so good for so many years. Is that um, there's 15 to 25 guys that know each other. We've raced around each other. They squash shit immediately, and not that other leagues don't. I just think they do a really good job of it. Um, as far as our rule book goes, Matt did a good job of taking his time and putting a lot into it when nobody else could or quite frankly had the time to, and that's really appreciated, and he's doing an awesome job by sticking by his rule book and making sure things are called by the rules. With that being said, and again, I like Matt, and so and I think again what you said rings true for me too. But I disagree with a lot of them. Matt knows, Ryan knows that I made that admin meeting in the preseason longer than shit because I debated a lot of it. I think we got too many cars on the racetrack. I think that we needed a little bit better approval system. And quite frankly, I think racing deals and people racing hard and shit out of people's control can't be penalized. And I get you get five free ones, but I mean, there doesn't have to be an at fault, in my opinion, for racing stuff. And just because there's a caution, like shit happens in life. Like I mean, fuck, I got fucked by the you know a bump and run at the end of a straightaway, which is not a bump and run in my opinion,
No.
and got sent and completely fucked my race at the end of the day. But that's beyond the point, and the rule book, whatever that may be, states that we got to work past that. But I just and the rule book I'm and the sub changes I'm making, that shit won't get penalized either. I mean, what happened to me on Sunday, what happened to Bryn on Sunday from Daniel, like we gotta realize too, if we want to bitch about it, like instances like I was in or Bryn was in, like those wouldn't get penalized either because breaking points and last lap and people driving the shit out of each other, that's racing.
It
That's
happens.
just gonna happen. Is it a
Yep.
fucking dick move? Absolutely. But shit happens. And when people get out of control and people start wrecking the fuck out of people under caution or racing, or you got a guy that's dumping the shit out of people, yeah, you talk to him. If you got lane changes, pit road penalties, people out of control, yeah, penalize them. I did it on Sunday. To much notice of everybody in the Discord chat, apparently. I changed lanes on Sunday, but somebody in front of me needed to shit or get off the pod on a restart. And, of them, but hey. But again, these are the rules we have set. And, do I think there's some changes that could and can be made? Yeah. Will they be made this year? I don't know. That's up for all of us admins to talk about.
Yep.
But, to me, like, you're so, like, I accidentally got into Lurkin and I let 15 cars drive by me, so I didn't be the one so Lurkin wasn't disadvantaged,
Yep.
or he was less disadvantaged than me, and Lurkin saved it, and yeah, it checked up the field, but I mean, shit like that happens in race cars, and to the other point, another admin brought up a really good point, like it costs them millions of dollars when they wreck, and it costs us, 1 out of 5 at faults or what.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think, you know, shit. It's really hard, and I guess that's a part of it. It's really hard to race on edge and put good quality. Like, when we get to Bristol or something, and someone's in the way, and it's 2 or 3 to go, like I'm gonna move their shit for a win.
Yep.
But if it causes a caution or something, like I'm probably gonna get penalized for it. And that's racing to me, like moving someone up out of the groove, and like it all depends on if they save the race car or not. Hell, it might not depend if they save the race car or not. It depends on how bad they get disadvantaged, or how I move them. And to me, I shouldn't have to be thinking about that when I'm driving a car. And that's my opinion. And people can like it or they can hate it, and I can sit here and bitch and moan all I want. It might not change a damn thing,
Most time it
but
doesn't.
I'll show up and I'll support my league I'm an admin in, no matter what. And and until if and when changes are made, we gotta do what's in the rule book.
Yeah.
So
Like you said,
and here's the thing, we also had a drivers meeting at the beginning of the year going over all of this. Same thing with the team overs. We went over the entire thing. So they knew this was coming. And again, at the time, some people didn't agree with it, some people did. And still, some people like the rule book, some people don't. It's always going to be that way, no matter what we do. And again, I think there's changes that could and can be made. But at the end of the day, that's a group decision. And whatever happens is up to us admins. And, like what Ryan said, says a lot. If you don't like it, you don't have to run. But nobody's left yet because this is a really good league and a really good family, and people want to see it do well. And I think people that are sticking around and there's concerns all around, I think it deserves to be looked into for maybe some tweaks and changes. But it's almost unbearable to drive with the thought of that type of penalty or whatever on your mind, because I mean I'm an aggressive son of a bitch. I'll admit to it. I 98% of the time I won't even give myself that 1%. 98% of the time I keep it clean. Nobody wrecks, but I'm aggressive. So and it kind of it makes you change your driving style. and I just don't think some people should have to sacrifice that. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, and I can see where you're going from that. And like you were saying, like people can bitch and complain about it, and guess what? 99% of the time in life, you can bitch and complain until you're blue in the face, and nothing ain't gonna change. Okay, I mean it's just it takes time for anything to be perfected, and you ain't gonna ever get anything perfect. But like the rule book is the rule book. It is the rule book is the rule book. It's just what it is. Okay. Well, people just have to adapt to it. Now, consistency of that rule book, that's going to take time to also get in place. We're 3 races into the season. Um, if we're 15 races into the season and we're still having these question marks of what is an instant point, what isn't, then we have problems. Okay, that's when we run into a roadblock that's going to start pissing people off to eventually maybe start leaving. But like let's see, Rick James, he's on one right now. He's on a heater, so I gotta back up here. Says it's not race control; it's the condescending attitude that comes from race control. Now, I've also heard this feedback as well. Kent may come off the wrong way to some people. I have literally yelled at Kent to the point where he left Discord over Madden football. Okay, he gets under your skin sometimes with how he comes off at you. Okay, but next time I talk to him, I apologize. It is what it is. He can get under your skin, but that's just how some people are. Once you learn how they are and everything like that, it kind of changes a little bit. So I don't know. I can see that. I can understand where that comment's coming from. Oh boy, Aiden's in the chat. How you doing, Aiden? I know you're going to comment on something. I trying to get your ass on here. You won't come home.
My main thing is this: like we can track at fault stills if we want to. To me, it shouldn't add up to a 10-point penalty. And you track at faults because if one dude is a main issue, or you don't even have to track him at that point. Just, if one dude's a big issue, and usually it's a glaring issue if one dude is running through people. My driver last year, Daniel Michelle, massive problem. He got a warning. I told him next race, and we told him as an admin team, we're gonna sit your ass out of race if you can't get your shit under control.
He's
And
still a problem.
He's well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the rest of the year, for the most part, he didn't. After that meeting, and Ryan knows this, he really didn't touch anybody anymore. He didn't. He wasn't. He raced the shit out of people. He's always going to do that. Hell, he raced the shit out of me, and I was his team owner, and I would expect that. But I just like there's no reason for people to, because I mean shit's gonna happen, and racing deals are gonna happen, and we're racing hard, and it kind of sucks the fun out of it sometimes where it's like, oh shit, I'm 2 away from a 10-point penalty. And it's like, I could have a racing deal happen the next 2 weeks, and it's like, fuck, that 10 points could be the difference between someone's playoffs or not, when it's not necessary. And if someone's a problem, then we can sit down and talk to them. We can still have the hauler and review incidents. If we feel like something's worthy of a fucking penalty, then we can slap them with a penalty. We can have a first offense, second offense, third offense type of system. And if they're really bad after the second or third one, it's like third strike, dude. You're sitting out 1, 2, 3 races. If you're really bad after you come back after that suspension, you're gone. And we don't have to cater to anybody. Also, it's badass. It's cool as hell. I think only the drafted drivers should race on the short track. I mean, there's 40 fucking cars out there in that tiny little space, and shit's gonna happen. Like, and eventually it's gonna even itself out. And I understand that. And independent guys, I want people to have their shot too, but and we can still have that many teams and draft that many drivers. But part of having the draft is like, you get drafted or you don't. Like, so, and I want people to race too, so I can see both sides of that. And I think it's kick-ass that there's 40 people that want to race our series every week. But that you know, that's a song for another time. But I think there's a lot better way to go about it, without, like, I think the only flaw in that rule book is like that when the 10-point penalties start coming about after five. Like if someone's an issue, then you sit down and you talk about it. Everything else is great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's the way in which penalties, you can track my at faults all you want, but and if I'm a consistent problem throughout the year, talk to my ass, sit my ass down, say you drive like a fucking idiot, and you could probably say that for me every week. Some people probably would, but you know, and it's just there's a lot easier way to do it and still have really damn good racing. Because last year we kind of did it that way, and we still had really damn good racing. Lots of different winners, lots of people winning stages, But again, a lot of people bitched for us to make changes, and part of that to me was consistency on some stuff. But you know, there was, and some people just thought, hey, maybe you guys should be more consistent with calls, and that's probably what we should have done, or at least evaluated. Not to say that I don't think we were consistent. I'm sure there's some instances where it didn't feel like it. Um, on my end, I felt like my votes and decisions were consistent. Um, but you know, it just you could talk all night about it, and it would you would get some really good ideas, but again, like, so we bitch and we moan and we get here and someone provided a solution, and then everybody was relieved that someone provided a solution, drivers, admins, everybody included, and then now we want to bitch about it. So there has to come a point in time where we all sit down and we really truly have a conversation where we're all dialed in about it and be like, this is what is good or bad or indifferent. Not, thank God someone else is doing this shit, which I totally understand. Not, this shit freaking sucks, and we have to be able to sit down whenever everything's calmed down and have a level-headed conversation about it, to where and just really sit down and be like, do we really fucking need this? Like, or should we really have this? Like, do
Yeah.
we really need to implement that? And so, there's a lot of different ways you can do it, and we're fully capable of doing it. But we got to quit bitching and moaning first, because turns out, with level heads and a couple cold beers, shit, we could solve world peace within 3 fucking hours in this group. I mean, we usually come up with a pretty damn good solution, and we all end up happy in the end. And I think no matter what happens with this, it'll end up that way, or maybe it won't. And that'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And I'd hate to fucking see that, but it is what it is. But either way, I'm gonna show up and do my admin stuff, and do what I can to be a positive influence for the other admins and the other drivers, and do what's best, what I think, for A Squared and ARCS.
Yeah.
Because I love the people. The guy on the bottom of the screen worked way too fucking hard for it to be a bitch and moan fest, and the people watching, like Andrews and Lurkin and Rick and all the owners. Fuck, DP somewhere making pizza. Glad he could retire and live his dream. But they worked really fucking hard to get it to this point. And we are so damn. I mean, we are there to being we are a really elite league overall. And we're so close to just cleaning a few things up, and getting the last bit of organization there, and we can really rock and roll and kick some people's asses and have fun. But I'm here for the people, man. If the race cars went away and we could get on here and bullshit every night, I wouldn't give a shit. And so that's my biggest thing. It may seem like some admins, like, sometimes they favor one side, sometimes they favor the other. But we're just, especially me, I'll flip flop, because I'm just trying to keep everybody happy, and that's impossible. And keep everybody getting along, because I don't want to see anybody leave. fuck, I'll sit here and drink beer with everybody all night long. I don't care who you are and where you came from and all that jazz. So, um, you know, it's really not that hard. It seems hard, and we make it really fucking hard. We just gotta really sit down and hash it out. But we'll get there. I have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. You know, it's oh, fuck. Where's I going with this? So I hit a wall. Okay, I'm trying to process everything. So I'm going through. I'm listening to Seth, and I agree with a lot that you're saying. The point system, to me, I'm echoing off of somebody. Not sure who it is. The
Probably
point
me.
the point system to me, and you brought it up. My biggest issue with the point system is racing incidents happen, and they shouldn't be given a full-on penalty for a racing incident. Someone gets loose, it breaks loose. Okay, one of the biggest issues with this car is that when it's fucking gone, the car's gone. You can't. There's. You can try tapping the brake to save it. Doesn't always work. Shit happens. People come. They'll oversteer, bring it back in front of traffic. Racing incident. Wrecks happen. I would rather see the penalty system implemented to, you are a dumbass for doing this, so here's your 1 out of 5. And if you wanted to make it even more like the dumbass things, fuck 5, give them 3. And then incidences are just, hey, a little bit, we're not going to penalize you for this. It's just, that happens. That shit happens. The things that I want to see penalized are the dumbass moments, like somebody completely throwing their car into going into turn 3 at Phoenix and dumping somebody into the wall. That warrants a penalty because that is terrible race etiquette. That is basically just there's a difference between moving somebody and dumping somebody. Okay, and I am talking about Seth getting dumped here into the wall. It just wasn't a move. He sent him into the wall. That's a penalty in my eyes if you want to talk about what should be and what shouldn't be. Someone getting loose and then someone hitting that person that got loose and then that causes a wreck, that shit happens in real life. That is what it is. The dumb shit doesn't happen. And when it does happen in real life, they get penalized. We should be penalizing the dumbass shit, not the simple stuff that we should just that people have to be scared about. I don't want to side draft this guy because what if I get just a little too close to side drafting and I get loose or he loses his rear end, he comes up a little bit, and that people are scared to race side by side, and you shouldn't be scared to race side by side. People should want to race, and you get if we're only 3 races in, there's some people with 2 points. I think there's one person with 3 points. Like they're going to become invisible because they're going to be so scared to actually race on track. That's my biggest fear, that you're going to start getting these points going. And I understand if there's a caution, then someone's at fault. I'm not talking about that, but does it warrant a penalty? That's my question. And you can't put that in the comments. Just because a caution comes out doesn't mean that person deserves a penalty or deserves a point for a penalty. It doesn't. So you're telling me that someone gets loose, spins, and another car just tags that person. That warrants a penalty. That is stupid. That is dumb. Tell me in any other series in anywhere, real life, iRacing. I mean, there are some dumb things in iRacing I've seen, but in real life, that a person spinning and a person getting in that wreck gets called to a hauler or gets a penalty. It doesn't happen. Penalties should be warranted for dumb ass actions on track, in my opinion, and that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. Just how I feel about it.
I agree, and again, I see why and where the point system was made the way it was. I don't think it's necessary for someone to get a penalty unless they're a consistent problem or they just do something really really stupid. And like your lane changes and stuff like that and restart violations, yes. Like that is a penalty. But, if I get loose and I spin and Feimster gets collected and then I get a penalty, like, I mean, tough shit. Feimster's probably gonna say, "Fucking Seth sucks ass at driving." Like, no driving son of a bitch spun out and collected me.
It is what
But
it
you,
is.
you go on to next week, or he can call me in the holler, rip my fucking ass for 20 minutes, and we're done. Or we're over chat. And so, but that's my opinion on it. I gotta hop off in here, but I'll be watching. I just got some other stuff I gotta get done, but I appreciate you having me on. I'll be on a lot more. I'm glad you brought it back, and I know us three were kind of the ones on a lot of episodes last year, so I look forward to it again. I'll look forward to hearing Ryan's thoughts on everything because he's sitting down there ripping that vape, ready to spew some facts out. I'm sure.
You may chew
So,
my ass here. We'll find out real quick.
so, all right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, later, Seth. Have a good. All right, that was Seth Watson. He joined us for a little bit. I knew he was gonna bring us some hot topic. I gave my opinion, and what I think is and it isn't a warrants a penalty. And like I said, I may be dead wrong, but that's the great thing about having opinions and have multiple people talking about it. So I know it's a hard discussion for you because you're in that room, you're in that chat, and owner of Arcs and started A Squared and all that kind of stuff. So it's hard. I understand that struggle of fighting back and forth between all that and people in your ear one talking about this and that and everything else.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I hear both sides of it. I hear from race control, I hear from admins, I hear from people that aren't admins, I hear from drivers, and I mean, bottom line is, look, you find me an iRacing league out there right now that is perfect, and I'll pay you $100. I will literally send you $100 in Venmo if you can find that for me. I mean, it doesn't exist. Every series that is created has flaws. That includes all of ARCs. Every series that we've ever ran, it has flaws. We fuck up sessions. We fuck up, rule callings. We fuck up everything. But at the end of the day, it's on me, to make it better, to make everything smooth. And the first two races, I feel like A Squared did really well. We didn't have a lot of cautions. It was really good racing. We really didn't have a whole lot to review. But last week was rough, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it was not a good race. We had good viewership, which is great, but that doesn't mean that it was a great race just because we had good viewership. So yeah, I mean, we got to look at just everything overall. I mean, and another thing is, we implement this rule book that we have this year, and we're trying, to be as fair as we can, and it'll never be as fair as it can be. And I mean, it's just, I feel like I'm fighting a battle every day. It's always a battle between what admins say, what drivers say, what people that don't even race the fucking series say. Like, I don't even know why I listen to people that don't race the series.
Yeah.
Like, who? You don't even race the fucking series. Who cares? Like, you're not even there. So, you may watch it on the stream, and thank you for watching it on the stream, but you're not there. You don't see what's going on. You don't see what people are doing. And last week was rough. It's that track just unfortunately sucks with that car. I mean, you think you can drive it in, and then you hit the brakes, and then the thing just snaps loose on you. I mean, it's tough to try and keep 40 cars from running into each other. I mean, yeah, I think we need to do some investigating on what we could do. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we had a driver appeal a penalty and was pretty adamant that it wasn't his fault. And I'm sitting back there as an owner, as an admin, saying this driver already has won a race, and you're appealing a penalty where you lost control of the race car. It wasn't anyone else. You lost control of your own car and caused a wreck that collected, honestly, half the field at that point. And you're appealing this, and the appeal process is open to anybody. So, I'm not saying don't appeal. Appeal your penalty. We'll look at it again. But someone that has already won a race is locked into the playoffs, sitting here appealing a penalty for 2 out of 5. It wasn't even a points penalty. It was just an at-fault incident. And to me, that just seemed wild. Like, I don't know. The fact that somebody would do that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I haven't had a single at-fault incident or at-fault caution all year long. And I'm right there at being in the playoffs. So to me, it's like, I'm not a good iRacing driver. I'm not a good driver.
Right there with you.
But I haven't had any at-fault incidents. I haven't had any at-fault cautions. I'm literally 0 for 5 for both of those. And to me, it just seems like, if I can do it, why can't some of you fuckers that are way better than me, why can't y'all do it too? Like, and I know shit happens sometimes, and people get involved and they get, they run into each other. I get that, but yeah, I mean, we there's things that could be improved, obviously, and we may have a sit down with the admins and see if we need to improve something or change something. But I feel like at this point, I mean, you pretty much have 10 freebies as a driver. You have 5 at-fault cautions, so you can literally wreck someone so bad that they wreck and collect other people and the caution flies. And you also have 5 at-fault incidents, which is basically kind of like, you run into someone and they, don't spin out, or they don't, caution doesn't come out. So you have 10 freebies throughout. I mean, our entire season this year is only 25 races.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you're using up 10 freebies in a 25 race season, maybe you shouldn't be racing competitively.
That's true.
I don't know. But I mean, that's just a little bit of my opinion, and I don't, again, I'm trying this year. I really am. I'm trying to listen to everybody, but
I know you are. Yeah.
You can't make everyone happy. I mean, that's the problem with it. It's like you do one thing that'll make this guy happy, and then it pisses off 3 other people.
That's just how it is everywhere with anything, I feel like.
Yeah, so then you try and make those other 3 people happy. Well, now you've pissed off 5 more people because you made those 3 people happy. So I don't know, man. It's just it's deflating sometimes. It really is.
Yeah, and I get it. And like I said, like with my opinion on it, that's my opinion. But am I going the rule book is the rule book, and like I said earlier, okay. So if it's written that way, then I got to accept it. I got to move on, and you know, I don't think there's any way. And like I have 1 out of 5. I got loose, hit the wall, got loose. Dale Mikowski got into back of me, and that's my fault. I own that. I know that was my fault. That's why I didn't try appealing it because that's what happened. Um, but like you said, if honestly you're not wrong, and I never kind of looked at it that way. If you got 10 freebies and you're worried about using all of them up, you're right. Maybe you shouldn't be on track. But I also can see some other people's side of it as well. You try balancing that, and it's hard to balance it. I know my team, one of my teammates, team owner, whatever you want to call him. I know he's upset about a few things that with the appealing process and the reviews and stuff like that. But that's not my place. I'll support him. I'll listen to him, but it's not my place to determine what should be done. That's your guys's, and I respect that. And then don't get me wrong, thinking that I'm trying to talk shit down onto it. I'm just giving my opinion on what I disliked about the whole side of the penalty thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're not wrong when you say, motherfucker, you got 10 chances before you finally get a penalty. You have
Yeah.
instant points and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, you put it in layman terms like that, I can kind of see that side of it. Just it makes a little bit more sense now.
Yeah.
You hear somebody. That's the great thing about talking shit out. You can have it pinned and you can listen to somebody else talking and be like, yeah, the motherfucker ain't wrong. Maybe
Yeah.
I was just reading it wrong.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, like you said, I mean, you got pretty much 10 freebies. I mean, obviously, if you do something extremely stupid and just wreck somebody on purpose, then yeah, it kind of supersedes that. But I think everybody's just so been out of shape that every incident is like a penalty, but it's not really a penalty. It's just it adds to your 5 at-fault incidents or 5 at-fault cautions, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I just, like I said,
And
I mean, it's yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, and like Kent said, Ken, I'd love for you to come on, man. And we'll let you just freely talk, and you can in detail over this. You can in your own whatever version you want to say it and do it. We can bring you on and let you do it. And like I have nothing against you as a person at all. And I know I don't want your job. Like I don't want to do what you do. I'll tell you that right now. And that's why I'm not going to sit here and completely just tear down everything that all the decisions you made, every single, that's, I ain't going to do that, because then you can flip around. Well, here, motherfucker, you do that. You make that decision. You make that call, in race kind of thing. Nope. I'm good. I don't want that,
Yeah.
and that's what some people need to get their head wrapped around is you can complain
I
and
mean,
bitch as much as you want until it's in your lap.
yeah, and that's the thing is like, we have a lot of people that love to talk in the comments, that love to talk in the discords, but show up every week and be a part of the team. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie, my admin team hasn't fully been there for A Squared. I mean, it's literally been me and Matthew Kent, and Lurkin has showed up. He had to leave early a couple times. Seth was there, and he had to leave, once, which is understandable because we're viewing these races 3 hours after y'all are done. After y'all finish, y'all take the checker flag, you go to bed. We're still awake. We're still reviewing every incident that happened on track on Sunday nights. And maybe y'all know that, maybe you don't know that. I don't know. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. But I mean, it's just it's silly. I mean, I don't get it. Like, and Aiden saying, it's that's your choice to review the race. Yeah, it is. I mean, what else are we gonna do? Like, what is your solution to that? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm at the point in my life where like I just don't need to be doing this shit anymore. I sometimes I feel like it's getting to that point. Sometimes I feel like I just need to go to just doing my podcast with my drivers, doing this podcast as, a producer / co-host, and that's it. Just not do anything else. Let someone else handle this shit, because it doesn't matter what I do. It's wrong. I mean, last year we didn't have enough penalties. This year we have too many penalties, and then I'm getting blamed for consistency. I don't get it. I really just don't get it. And I don't know. I mean, it's just I'll throw it back to you.
Oh, I mean, I get, where you're coming from with that. And like I said, I don't want that job. I don't. Some people think that they can do it, but I mean, if they could, they have their own league, or they used to have their own league. And it didn't work out for, whatever reason. It's, man, like, I get that. Like, here's the thing: you can disagree with a lot of things that people do. You can disagree with any rules or any other kind of bullshit. Just understand one thing: just because you disagree with it doesn't mean it's consensus. Okay? Doesn't mean that it needs here. And a lot of people, someone gets loud and you get a following from that people, and they come along, and then you get a group of they're all blah 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 blah, and you got another. You got to be realistic with this shit, okay? Like, the job that Ryan and the admin group, and I'll throw Kent in there. I'm kind of talking over as an overall, and I know Kent does way more than what just A squared is. It's hard, okay, and it's free. That's where some people need to realize that I can speak my opinion on what I think should be changed, but it doesn't mean that, like, I'm not gonna smash my hand on the table saying change this fucking thing or I'm gone. No, because this is a free league. I race for fun. I race to have a good time. I race with my friends. I've met a lot of these people personally. I respect them all individually in their own way. And I think we just need to get back to that a little bit. I know there's a lot of disagreements with a lot of shit. People bitching and moaning and crying. I'll probably bitch and moan and cry a handful more times this year. It's just what it is. You all know me. You will hear me over comms. Yep. You'll hear me over comms. It'll happen a few more times. It is what it is. In that moment, I'll be pissed. But, man, I think we kind of beat a dead horse over this subject tonight. And hopefully
Probably.
we don't have to bring it back up anymore. Hopefully we can bring Kent on, and he can clear the air on dirty air. See what I did there? That was clever. That might be a catch line. And maybe we'll bring Ken on next week, since it'd be fresh in everyone's mind. We can have this episode of, people in the chat, voicing their opinions, and Kent can come in and he can clear it all up. That might be the route that we go. We'll see. But man, I'm tired. I'm about done. You about done?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'm just sick of people talking shit, man. I thought this year would be better, but I don't know. I mean, obviously we have a couple people in ARCs that don't agree. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. It's like I'm not tired.
Yeah.
I'm not tired of people talking shit. I don't know. I mean, it just seems ridiculous that, I mean, A squared. Yeah, we've talked a lot about A squared tonight because that was what we ran Sunday, and I don't know, man. I'm sick of all this shit. Honestly, I don't even know if I want to do it anymore. Any of it. It's just, you get 2 or 3 people that think that they know. They think that their fucking ass doesn't fucking smell, and it just pisses me off. So, I think what I need to do as an owner is I need to take charge, and this is my series. This is my league, and I don't really give a shit what people think, honestly. And we have 40 drivers that race every Sunday night. And I have a few rumblings from 1 or 2 drivers. And if you're upset, if you're a driver in A squared and you're listening and you're upset, please let me know. I don't give a fuck what you think if you're not running in our series. Honestly. I don't give 2 shits what you fucking think. I don't give a fuck what you think about my series if you don't race in it. Just because
people bitching about real NASCAR, like you ain't there, you ain't racing,
Just because you're in the podcast, awesome. Just because you're in ARCs, great. Power to you. But if you don't race in A squared, I don't give a fuck what you think. And at this point, we're doing the best we can. If you don't think we're busting our ass to try and make things better, do we do things wrong? Yes, we do things wrong. We fucking do things wrong. We don't have... I mean, you get 10 freebies, for fuck's sake. If you drive through 11 people throughout the season, your ass shouldn't be racing anyway. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous. Like... Dude, I don't know. This is fucking wild. I mean, I have never had an A squared driver complain to my face. Ever. Ever. Tommy Withers literally said that... Alright. Feemster, we're going to end this podcast. I'm going to take care of some business. Okay, buddy?
Hey, got it. Hey, thanks for watching Unfiltered Dirty Air, y'all.
All right.
Y'all have a good night.
Yep. Y'all have a great night. We're gonna end this thing, and I'm gonna clean some shit up in ARCs. All right.